Now practice is over, qualifying awaits. Welcome along from Portugal and the fearsome Portimao. Time to light up those timesheets and see who can take pole today. Welcome along then to Portimao, one of the busiest towns in the Algarve and a breathtaking destination that brings tourists from all around the world to the shores of southern Portugal. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula One World Championship, and with a circuit this wide, we could be in for a lot of exciting wheel-to-wheel action today. So Portimao features 15 turns over the course of its 2.9-mile length. 9 are right-handers, 6 are to the left. This is a track with a lot of uphill action, which only accentuates the importance of getting those exits right, especially at turn 4, where a good line can present opportunities to pass on the way into turn 5. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Fernando Alonso yesterday puts him on pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Norris, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Magnussen, Zhou, Stroll, Russell, Hülkenberg, Sargent and Edwards. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Nose. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say they've got the better of them more often than not. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race. But I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
Now I know this isn't where we wanted to start this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid, it means there's an opportunity to move forward. I've seen you karting back in the day, let's go and do it again.
So then, taking the grid penalty, we didn't set a lap in qualifying anyway. It's going to be soft medium. I'm pretty sure that this is one of the rare occasions that we're actually going to see the softs actually made out in a stint. Also back here with us is George Russell. He's took a grid penalty. Just put him in P17. Sargent as well is someone who took a penalty. But yeah, that top 10 looking pretty usual. The Spaniards lock out the front row. We've got Tsunoda who's starting on the mediums, the only driver to do that. So yeah, let's get into this one then. It's a pretty slow getaway for us compared to the AI. As we just stay back, stay out of trouble, look at our opportunities where we can, and try and get moves done. Frick. Not like that though. We'll forget that even existed or happened. That's what we were meant to do. I hear contact there. Quite loud thuds. As we move our way into P15, looking at P14 from Magnussen though. As we go around the outside, 3 wide into the hairpin still. Albon backs out now. We get a better exit off that corner and we're off into P14 at the start of this race. We've got a lot more work to do if we want to get back into that top 10. Try and get the best position that we can in this race. Stroll should be. Oh my god, I'm not on form today. I don't know what it is. Stroll should be a pretty easy overtake. So I'll try and get that done sooner rather than later. Tsunoda's at the head of this train. course, is the only one on the medium tyres to start this race.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
As we look to go up the inside of Stroll. We get it done. It's very close though, through that first corner. The main thing is we're up another position in this race. DRS now enabled. This is going to become a DRS train as this race goes on. I mean, it already is a DRS
You might
train.
experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible.
Alonso still leads this race over Sainz. You've got a lot of speed. Is it enough to get past Ocon though? It might be enough to make a challenge into turn 1. Round the outside we go, and we get that move done and dusted. Perez has also got past Tsunoda on those medium tyres.
Good job, nice overtake.
Yeah, we're in 12th now with that move.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on.
Now we're going to try and do the same to this Alpine of Gasly as what we did to Ocon.
Pulling out
We're a bit further back though.
Really good stuff.
Perez and Tsunoda are going side by side into turn 1. We can't go for any sort of move through turn 1, but maybe this battle will hold up Gasly a little bit, enough to send one down the inside from our side, but not enough to get a move completed. Go for a switchback, try and get the better exit than Gasly. Better than Perez as well. Send it down the inside. Perez is still alongside Tsunoda here. He's going to get the better exit being on the outside line. We're still alongside Gasly because we squeeze him out now, and we took into P11 there. A longer battle than what I wanted it to be fair, but we've got the move done nonetheless, and time to push on to get into that top 10. And yeah, try and secure some points in this race. We're on lap 4, nearly lap 5 already in this race. Lap 14 is our pit window, so another 10 laps and the pit stops will be in full effect. It's just about where we can position ourselves before those pit stops come into play. So down the straight, then Tsunoda gaining rapidly on Perez. He doesn't know which way to go. Kind of gets blocked off by Perez, doing more than one move. We've seen a few dodgy things from the AI in a few races this season, notably from the Leclerc all season, to be fair. Moving under braking, what he did in Texas as well, where he turned left into our car. Alonso also doing the same, but the Leclerc one, we both came off worse than that. So yeah, AI, I think they need a bit of a fix up in this game, but I'm sure that will be one of the patches. Hopefully it doesn't affect our races too much in the future before a patch comes out for it. As the top three have just completely checked out now. Alonso, Sainz and Verstappen. Of course, Alonso and Verstappen, both our championship rivals, along with Leclerc, but he's on the other train, just behind. I think he's heading the other train actually, as Tsunoda now pulls to the outside, goes around the outside of Perez. Can we maybe look for a move as well? And we do. It's very close to contact. We're into the top 10 though.
Okay, mate, we've got to move up the order if we can, so I'm setting you a new target. Push, push.
Okay, so we've got to get Tsunoda on those medium tyres. I'm going to sneeze. Bless me. Right. Got 4 laps to get past him. Tsunoda seems to be catching this other train though, so we're just going to stay behind him for now. But if we've got the overspeed, then obviously we'll go for it. We're not going to force anything. Ooh, as we get a lot of oversteer coming out of that corner there. Get on the bumps and the curbs a bit too much, and you'll see yourself flying towards a barrier. Yeah, Leclerc is leading this gaggle of cars up ahead. He's our other championship rival, of course.
Okay, you're in the top 10. Gap to your teammate ahead, 11.0 seconds.
And we've got the overspeed on Tsunoda to go down the inside of turn 1. Drift it through. There's a yellow flag though up ahead. That's one of the leading 3. And who is it? It's Verstappen. So one of our title rivals has fallen in this race. We go a bit deep into the hairpin, out of shock really, that it's now a 2-horse race up front between the 2 Spaniards. Sainz is no longer looking in his rear view mirror at Verstappen, so he should be all focused on getting Alonso and overtaking him.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.6 seconds.
As we're only 1.5 away from Hamilton. But we need that DRS to try and defend against Tsunoda. We saw how quick he was in a straight line against Sergio Perez. So there's nothing stopping him from being that quick again against us. Here he goes. He's going to dive it to the inside, side by side through turn 1. Very risky stuff, but nice and clean. As also ahead, Ricciardo gets past Lando Norris to move himself up into P4. Of course, now Leclerc inherits that podium spot from our championship rival Verstappen. We're starting to feel the grip to go away now, as we're losing time to this pack ahead of us. There's oversteer in every single corner exit. It's just not nice to drive at all. Part of me's thinking, why don't we try the undercut, go onto the hard tyres, but then another part of me thinking, well, the hard tyres, what if they're no good around this track? And how will our tyres look at the end of this race? That is the main question. So a bit of a sticky one, as Tsunoda's going to challenge us towards the hairpin there. Down the inside he goes on the mediums. Probably got way more grip than us, as now we fight towards the next sequence of corners. we've got that inside line, we're able to command the corner and command the position, and we stay in P8. Not really where we should be fighting, but say it's lap 9 and we started P20, it's pretty good going. And there's only one DNF as well, so even if that DNF didn't happen, we'd still be up in the points in P9 currently. Let's take a look at our tyre wear then. Really struggling is the left side, then the rear right, and then the front right is just, you know, it's fine basically. Nothing to worry about on that one. But Tsunoda sails past, and he's up into P8. We're back down to P9, but there's a DRS zone coming up that we will have the DRS for. If we can get a great exit, which we don't, we're way too far back to even think about any sort of move into that hairpin, so we're just going to have to try and stay with him. Tsunoda got the rears a bit lit up there, coming out of the hairpin. As we have managed to stay with Tsunoda, luckily.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
The oversteer once again kicks in at the corner where we didn't need it to happen. So now it's just trying to gain down this straight enough to go for a move into turn 1. We do go for the move. There's a bit of wheel barging though going on into turn 1 between us both. Yeah, that could have ended nasty.
Nice move, good job.
But we've got the move done at the moment. Tsunoda with the DRS and probably the better exit out of that corner. Going to go defensive to the inside. He looks to the outside, kind of pushing us into the corner though there. As he didn't know which way to go. He's going to go for a late lunge around the outside, but thought better about it. Nearly went into the rear and us in avoidance of that move, so now we've got to try and defend against Yuki. As our pit lap is nearly here already, we're going to defend to the inside. He goes even further to the inside though, and bumps over the first corner and really slows down there. You know, we gave him all the room in the world though there, so nothing wrong on our side at all. Sainz hasn't been able to make a challenge for the lead just yet as well. Alonso still leads, but just even though that DRS is very powerful down that back pit straight, I'm surprised that the RB hasn't been able to do anything.
Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more.
So now we've got to focus on pushing towards the back of this pack, as our pit window will be coming up quite soon.
Right, keep pushing, you're gaining on the car ahead.
As now Ricciardo has put his V-carb into P3. He's got past Charles Leclerc. So that's a double V carb podium for the first time in his career mode so far, if it finishes as it is.
Okay, gap ahead, 2.0 seconds.
As Alonso comes in for quite an early stop. Of course, he's got the first call on strategy to come in, as he's the lead car. He started on pole, so
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
I'm pretty sure Alonso's had a really bad stop there, so that could cause Sainz to jump in, but we'll find out in the long run, or on the mini-map even, on where they come out in comparison to one another.
Okay, Piastri just ahead. Push hard, push hard. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
And yeah, Sainz is out way ahead of Alonso. So a mess up in the Aston strategy in the pit stop. Let's hope they don't do the same with our car, as we could really do without that. But what will that mean in terms of the championship?
Keep that in mind as you approach.
Especially if this affects his position, Alonso's position, like even further, as he's currently stuck behind the Williams of Logan Sargent, still yet to pit. Now we round the final corner, pull across into the pit lane, get it slowed down just in time there.
We've got to focus on the pit stop.
And it's a nice pit stop, but we do get held up slightly there by traffic coming through that pit lane, but we are closer to Piastri than what we were before. So then,
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
see what we can do from here. I'll try and see what I can gather from the mini-map in terms of position. I don't think Alonso's been jumped by anyone else, no. Ricciardo's lost a few positions, well, a couple. Perez is right behind us, but hopefully we can catch right up to the back of Piastri so we can defend with DRS from Sergio.
Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 13.8 seconds.
Of course, Tsunoda on the alternate strategy is still out here on the mediums that he started the race on. So he currently leads. I learnt it the hard way this season. If you go a different way to everyone else on the strategy, and by that means I mean staying out longer for the first stint, it doesn't work. It really doesn't. So we learnt that obviously in Hungary, where there was a threat of rain. And we started on the hards and everyone else on the mediums. As Alonso now sets the fastest lap, trying to make up what the team has basically took away from him. I'd assume he's frustrated with what happened with that pit stop. I'm always so tentative through that corner.
They're holding us up now, so let's please try and get past as soon as possible and get on with our race. Push, push.
Just feel like every time I go through that corner, before the DRS straight down to that hairpin, that I'm just going to lose the back end. It's not a very comfortable corner, I might say. We're not in that DRS of Piastri just yet, we're just outside it. But we are gaining down the straights though, so Noda's finally in for his stop.
Well done.
And we come out ahead of him. This is crucial to stay in the DRS for this point, and we do.
We're catching the car ahead, well done, but be aware these tyres need to get us to the end of this race.
That line feels so much more comfortable than the racing line, as we're going to look to send one down the inside that's very close on Piastri, but we're alongside anyway. He's got the better exit, being on that outside line. Now he has the inside, we have the outside. We're going to hang it round there and still keep it side by side, over the hill, down the hill, and we have got P7 away from Piastri. Completed our objective in the meantime as well. So yeah, not a bad sequence of corners for ourselves. It was a bit opportunistic, but we need to make these sort of moves, you know, to get everything done. So then it's just about defending this position now, because I don't think that we're going to catch up to the rest of that pack. Piastri will surely be back alongside us on the run to turn 1, or maybe even Perez. Perez looks to be gaining there in the slipstream of Piastri, and of course with the DRS as well. But nothing doing into turn 1. I felt a bit of contact there from Piastri, and yeah, he's lost an end plate. We don't want that to happen though.
gap to the car in front, 4.3 seconds.
So another 13 laps left in this race then. It's going to be a difficult 13 laps to try and defend from Piastri and Perez. Maybe even Gasly and Ocon if they catch up. Now Piastri with the DRS, he looks to the inside there, but can't get anything done into the hairpin.
To your teammate ahead, 17.0 seconds.
Piastri looking into the first corner. It's going to be a close one, but we stay ahead. Doesn't lose too much time like Tsunoda did when we went side by side through that corner. As we go again towards the hairpin, he's a lot closer this time. He's going to go to the outside as we defend the middle of the track. But nothing doing from Piastri. Yeah, that feels a lot more comfortable through there. Piastri looks to the inside, but doesn't actually make any move.
Just so you know, we're getting some strange readings from a couple of the sensors. I don't think you need to be worried, just some bad data. So keep doing what you're doing. I'll let you know if we notice any genuine problems.
8th time this season. That radio call. Russell has got past both Alpines, so he's now into the top 10. I'm pretty sure that Sainz still leads this one. I'll have a look at the running order then. So yeah, it is Sainz over Alonso, Leclerc, Norris, Ricciardo, Hamilton, myself, Piastri, Perez and Russell rounding out the top 10. Tsunoda on those hards. I don't think he's going to make any inroads, to be fair. And of course Verstappen, out before any of the pit stops even happen. But yeah, Alonso's pit stop time was a 6.2 second stop compared to Sainz's 2.5, and no one else has had a slow pit stop. We've in fact actually had the fastest one out of everyone. So yeah, our team has produced the fastest and the slowest pit stop of the race. So yeah, we're good at everything apparently.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 6.0 seconds.
Too tired to talk, to be completely honest. This is the problem with an F1 weekend and you're interested in F3, F2 and everything. You get up at early hours of the morning just to watch F3, and then just for F2 to be cancelled, and of course the F1 qualifying as well. Russell's right on the back of Perez now, so some extraordinary pace that Russell has shown in this second stint at least. He wasn't so there at the start or in the first stint, I must say. As Piastri must have made a mistake, Josh.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 6.3 seconds.
We'll have a look, see if he did make a mistake, because we've just gained 1.1 seconds out of nowhere. So here we go. Yeah, double lock up from Piastri and contact with Perez. So that could have easily damaged Piastri's floor, and it's such like a undulating track as well. That damage could get worse as Perez goes around the outside and gets that move completed on Oscar. We're kind of set free a little bit, but until God knows when, because we've now got a Red Bull behind us. But we can start to take a little less out the tyres, because we've got a bit of a relief behind us. Hopefully they can battle a bit more as the laps go on, so we don't have to put ourselves under any more pressure. We'll continue doing what we were doing anyway, just for now. Just until we see a battle going on behind us. There we go, Piastri goes to the inside, very far to the inside. And it's very close actually into turn 1. They go side by side. Perez wins out that battle so far, and the Alpine, I'm not sure which one that is.
Clear track in front of us, and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap.
Yeah, as I was saying, the Alpine is now on the back of that battle. We've now got a nice gap behind us, a safe gap. But yeah, a damage limitation weekend this one for definite.
Okay, nice work. Really good job with that target, mate.
As Piastri is fully back past Perez now. As now we're nearly on 4 laps to go. So across the line now, it's 4 laps to go. I'm happy with this result. As Russell gets past Perez into turn 1. Happy with this result as, of course, we didn't compete in qualifying and took penalties for component changes. So we started last, and to finishing the points, it was definitely completing our aim in this race. As Russell and Piastri now battling, Russell moves himself up into P8. Of course, he's the only other top driver to take a grid penalty with us.
The car ahead by 5.9 seconds.
And started P17. as he's really pushing now. Gaining towards us. 2 laps to go in this one now.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
And yeah, our engineer confirming that Russell is pushing like a madman, just in a more professional way. So we've just got to try and keep our pace, keep our cool, is the main thing. Not overdo it. Just so Russell doesn't have any sort of opportunity to catch up to us or go for any sort of move that could put us in a compromising position.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
And you heard it there. Last lap of this race. It's felt like a very long race, apart from those last few laps. They seem to have flew by. I think as long as we make no mistake, this P7 is ours.
6.3 seconds.
Of course, we definitely aren't getting any higher position unless there's a big mistake up front. Carlos Sainz though, pretty sure he's still leading this race. We'll have confirmation when whoever crosses the line first on who's won. And either way, I'm pretty sure it'll be a second win for either Spaniard. And it's Carlos Sainz in the V-Carb. That's their second win this season. And with Ricciardo in 5th, they're definitely making their constructors charge. So Carlos Sainz wins from P2 on the grid. Alonso, after a bad stop, moves down to 2nd, but we come through the final corner then to take P7 from P20. What a race.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Checkered flag, and here's our race winner today. What a smooth operation it was for Carlos Sainz. And it's time now for the podium celebrations, and how well deserved is this one? This is a team all about giving talented young drivers an opportunity to race and to win. RB are your winners here today. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
So then, as I said, Sainz winning that race ahead of Alonso, who ended up getting the fastest lap in the end. Norris took the podium spot off Charles Leclerc. Then it's Ricciardo in 5th. Then Hamilton in 6th. Ourselves in P7. Russell also making his way through the field in P8, Piastri P9, and Sergio Perez in P10. Our only DNF, of course, Max Verstappen from the podium places. In the standings then, Alonso closes his gap down to us. The gap is now 27 points. Then it's Leclerc on 44 points, overtaking Verstappen due to his DNF. Then it's Russell in P5, 81 points off the lead. Then it's Hamilton in P6, 96 away from us. Norris 104 points away, Sainz 106 points away with that win, Piastri 137 points away, and Perez rounding out that top 10, 151 points away. So Perez has got away from the threat of Tsunoda a little bit there, but he's got to watch out for the underdog of Daniel Ricciardo, actually, who's been outscoring him out and out in the past few races. So he's moved up to P12 now. Still 3 drivers left to score a point this season, Magnussen, Sargent, Hulkenberg, and in the Constructors we're 150 points ahead of Mercedes, who are 23 points ahead of Ferrari, who have overtook Red Bull actually by 3 points now, who are in 4th. Then it's McLaren in P5 with that podium, but RB gaining on them like crazy in the past few races. Alpine still on 44, Williams still on 35, Sauber on 7, and Haas still the only constructor left to score this season. The next one is going to be Vegas, so we'll set our objectives for that.
Okay, mate, I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but I'm afraid to say that some of them have failed quality control. We're going to need to tell the team what to redevelop via the R&D screen.
It will be the penultimate round of this season. We'll fast forward to it, but I don't think that we'll be doing it. So no rain expected. We look at the R&D chart. We've made significant gains, up to 900 points of R&D. RB have also upgraded, but just not at the rate that we have. Mercedes are now past McLaren, and Red Bull are in there somewhere. I can't really see where their marker is. Then it's Ferrari, who haven't upgraded into this season. Then Williams, Sauber, Haas. Well, Alpine have overtook Haas. So yeah, we've had our most podiums in a row streak come to an end. Well, actually, we've joined it. So, of course, the last time that happened was Canada, Spain, Austria, and Britain. We rounded that off with a win, and then Hungary just went downhill. We finished 6th, and then DNF and DNF in Spa and Monza. So I hope that that's not the same case for the last 2 races, because we've just had 4 podiums in a row now. We've rounded it off with a 7th in Portugal. Let's hope that the 2 double DNFs don't come into play like earlier, but we have won the Constructors' Championship now. No one can pass us, so that's great to know. There has been boiling points of this season between myself and Fernando, but altogether we've worked well as a team, and yeah, our performances have secured that P1 for the championship in terms of the team. So it's whether we can have an Aston Martin in rounding out both championships, but which one will it be, myself or Alonso, or could it even be one of the underdogs, Leclerc or Verstappen? As I don't think that Russell is going to gain that many points in the last 2 events. Actually, can Verstappen still get this championship? Well, the maximum points is 52, unless there's a sprint race in Qatar. So, let me see. Wow. He has kept himself in championship contention only if I DNF or score 0 points and he wins with the fastest lap in both races. But even then, he's got to overtake Leclerc and Alonso in the championship. So I just don't think it's going to be possible. This is now a 3-horse race, I'd say, between myself, Alonso and Leclerc. If there's a sprint in Qatar, then yeah, Verstappen's in this, definitely. But it's official then. It's just a 3-horse race. I don't know whether to do this or not. Whether to do Vegas. Yeah, you know what, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the qualifying and the race. I'll probably need a monster though, can't lie. I'm getting pretty tired. Let me go and get a monster, because I really need one. A nice fresh monster out the fridge. You can't beat it. And of course at the end of this season aero regs are changing, and we're also going to add a bit of a twist in the R&D, you know, the way that the R&D works, but we'll sort all of that out when we get to it. So as we're now in the final practice, hopefully we can get all of our objectives. It's going to be close if they all keep failing like they have been. We've just got enough time for that. Hopefully it doesn't fail. Yes, there we go. 30 seconds left on the clock and everything is done. Of course, Vegas was the final race last season in this career mode. Of course, it's second to last one now. Or was it? Can't have been. I don't know what I'm yapping about, but we'll have a look, because otherwise that's going to bug me. Let's take a look then. It was the third last race last season, and we've won it. And we won Qatar. So let's go into the qualifying then.
Stand by to see cars at more than 210 miles an hour blasting their way down the strip. F1 has taken over. It's F1 Fever, Las Vegas.
Lovely.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
Luckily we don't go out at the start of the session anyway. Alonso currently 4/10 clear of the field. Both Ferraris up there, so they're looking quick this weekend, that's for sure.
Okay,
now
that's
it's
all
time
the
to
checks
go out on the
complete.
track.
Ready to go.
And Ocon, interestingly, in P18 in the drop zone. Alonso stayed in the garage. I would too, as if I was 4/10 clear of the field. So I like his confidence. Of course, if
And we've been pushed down to P20.
if Alonso outscores us by let's say 2 points, he's still in this championship fight. If he only outscores us by 1 point, he's mathematically still in the championship. He'll just need to win and us DNF the final round, and him to get the fastest lap if that happens. But if he doesn't outscore us, if he draws, if he's outside the top 10 basically, and we're outside the top 10 as well, or he finishes below us, then he's out of the championship running. And same with Leclerc. Leclerc has more work to do, and he's up there. He's up there to do it. Just can he beat us, and can he beat Alonso as well? Stay in the championship fight going into Qatar. But we'll find out. This is only Q1 of the second to last round. Let's go for this lap. First lap around Vegas this season. Leclerc now sets the fastest lap. Sainz also done it before. This feels really slow for some reason. Not entirely sure why.
P20. Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session, and we're in the drop
Here
zone.
we go then, round the final corner. We cross the line and we are through. And we're in 5th for that first qualifying session, so not the best. We should be up there in the top 3 at least, but we're through. That's the main thing. We've got room to improve, that's for definite, because that felt like a really slow lap. But actually, in reality, it's not that far off P1. You know, we've got the V-carbs that are actually leading us. And, of course, Leclerc in the Ferrari, who's just about in first place. Both Williams are through. And actually, Hamilton and Ocon both knocked out in Q1. We've got Magnussen and Sargent through in the Haas and the Williams, respectively. But it's looking like a close grid once again for Vegas. The top 18 within 9/10 of one another. There's only the 2 Saubers that are out of a second of the fastest lap. Wow. Alonso just goes and puts in the fastest lap by 0.7 of a second. Verstappen on the verge of being knocked out. We've got a McLaren who's in the knockout zone.
Right,
Let's go out on
car's
track.
ready. Let's get it out there.
See what we can do. A lot of cars staying in the garage actually. Usually they'd all be out on track by now, but they're taking that risk by staying in. I'm sure that Verstappen isn't one of them. Well, I hope not, given his position. Yeah, so it's the top 7 drivers who are still in the pits. Albon actually in 5th, so yeah, he thinks he's safe. But with the amount of improvements that were at the end of Q1, don't be surprised if you see a surprise, or what we call a surprise knockout in this session. We definitely need to do a lot better on this lap. The laps are getting more crucial as the session goes on. Let's warm up our engine. Turn up our ERS to hot lap. And let's go for this flying lap of Q2. Felt a lot better through turn 1 and 2, a lot more quicker. The track evolution definitely picking up.
Right, that's us pushed down into P15.
Here we go then, towards the final corner and towards the line.
Good lap here or out of qualifying. Come on.
And that is P2. So still behind our teammate. But it's only by just over half a tenth. So, knockouts in this session. Magnussen and Sargent, they've done what they could. Gasly as well in the Alpine to get knocked out. And then it's Piastri in the McLaren, who's been on good form recently compared to the rest of his season. And Daniel Ricciardo in the second best car on the grid. And his teammate up there in third. He has been knocked out now. He couldn't improve on the lap time, neither could Piastri. To get themselves out of that bottom zone. Perez almost being knocked out though, 0.006 of a second away from it, and Russell and Norris not that far away either. Even Albon was more safe than that. So yeah, I don't know what our car is compared to all these guys, but it's certainly got a lot more grip. So let's go towards the end of qualifying as we usually do. So Fernando once again 7.5 tenths now ahead of second place, and that is Tsunoda in second.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go.
The real performances of the cars and the drivers are starting to come out now in this Grand Prix, of course, because it's a high speed, low speed track. You've got the long straight, you've got tight twisting corners, and yeah, it's definitely separating the best aerodynamically efficient cars and the least draggiest against the more draggy, less aero efficient cars. But that's Norris and Alonso not coming back out on track, so Alonso thinks he's done enough for pole position. Can we prove him wrong? That's our main aim for this quali session now, is to prove Fernando wrong, that he should have came out for another lap, because we're going to take pole from him. But Norris, not thinking he can improve on his lap, so he stayed in the garage. The one and only McLaren left in this quali session. They've had a pretty bogus season, I must say. McLaren, it's been really up and down. You know, Norris got his win. One of the races, I'm not sure which, but he did get a win. So Piastri's had podiums as well. Norris has had more podiums along the way. But all in all, they're in P5 in the constructors. They're really not doing that great. And VCarb are definitely cashing them. But here we go then for our final flying lap of qualifying. We've got to really push to try and get this pole position from Fernando Alonso. Purple sector 1. Pushing full throttle out of every single corner. And it's 5 tenths up on Perez, but not as purple sector 2 though, because now we've run towards the DRS down this strip straight. Open it now. Perez has also out-qualified Verstappen as well, I must say. So we go into the final chicane. Use most of our ERS towards the line now, towards the final corner, round the final corner, across the line.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
And that is pole position. We've achieved what we set out to do in this final quali session, and that was to prove Fernando wrong, that he should have came out for another run, and that there was more time left in his run. But we've proved him wrong. We've got pole position over our main rival by 3 tenths of a second.
Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So interestingly there, with Hamilton being knocked out in Q1, Russell, his teammate, is the man in third. Then it's Leclerc in fourth, Tsunoda fifth, Sainz in sixth, Sergio Perez at seventh. That qualifies Max Verstappen, coming off the back of a DNF, in eighth, and then Albon in ninth, and Lando Norris in P10. So let's secure more of this aero package. We've only got 5 parts at risk now. Still need a need to secure that one when it gets completed, which Alonso stupidly purchased, I must say. Let's get into the introduction of this race then.
Welcome to Las Vegas, and for Formula One, it's welcome back to Las Vegas. No longer do we race in the Caesars Palace car park. Tonight, the time is right to go racing in the street. 17 corners, 3 straights, 2 DRS zones, and the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas as we race around the 3.8 miles of Sin City. The strip has been taken over to become a straight tonight, commanding top speeds of around 212 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Edwards lines up on pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Sainz, Perez, Verstappen, Albon, Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Magnussen, Sargent, Hamilton, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Zhou, Stroll, and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend, Anthony Davidson. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say they've got the better of them more often than not.
Yeah, they have, and it's, you know, rule number 1, beat your teammate. They're the one that share the same equipment as you, and yes, the cars can vary in setup from race to race and depending on who has which style, but essentially they're your barometer, the yardstick. If you can beat them, that's the first job you have to do, and it looks like it's going their way, doesn't it? And they need to carry on this momentum, this energy through the rest of the season.
So then, I assume that they were talking about us. In terms of qualifying, Alonso's definitely got the better of us, but in the races, of course, us scoring more points than Alonso, then we've definitely got the better of him. So Lando Norris takes a grid penalty, the only one to do so, which is probably why he didn't go out for that final Q3 run. We've got a nearly 40-minute race in store. Medium to hard strategy. Red flags are imminent, safety cars are imminent, so let's get into it and prepare yourselves for chaos. Probably a better start than what we've had in the past few races. Alonso still manages to get alongside us though for the first corner, but by turn 2, sorry, not corner 2. Who am I? We're still ahead of Alonso now. On the run down to turn 3, high speed. Alonso goes to the outside. We defend to the inside. It's very close there to contact, but none made so far. As we go into this tight twisty section now of the racetrack by the sphere. Is that how you say it? Sphere? I don't know. But anyway, we keep P1, whether it's sphere or Sophia, I don't know, but yeah, we're in P1, that's the main thing. Alonso goes for a little fake lunge, which is surely going to affect his run out of the corner, so I'm not sure why he'd do that. But now, down the strip for the first time in race conditions, Alonso in the slipstream, really going for it on this first lap. He thinks that the race is going to be won on the first lap. He goes really tight to the inside there. We try and look for the switchback, but it's just not there. We're now in the slipstream, going towards the start finish line to complete lap 1. We move to the inside for the final corner, and we are in the lead across the line. So if slipstream wasn't enough, DRS has now been enabled for this race. We're in P1 at the moment, but for how much longer? We know how powerful the DRS is on this car. Us top 4 battling. Russell's even going to go for it round the outside. It's going to be 3 wide. This is surely going to result in a crash. It's very close, but Russell gets 2 moves done on myself and Alonso. He made it 3 wide. I was very scared for what was about to happen to us and to Russell and to Alonso, but it didn't happen. Russell makes a very clean move around the outside of both of us, and he's up into P1, but that's going to leave him vulnerable down the strip straight. We've got the DRS, Alonso's got the DRS, and so has the rest of this pack behind. It's only until the Alpine where there's a gap, but here we go, gaining on Russell even before the DRS, and now we can activate it and go towards Russell. We're not going to use any ERS, we're already quite low on it. We move to the outside, but no move done there. Leclerc bounces over the curb as he goes for a move on our teammate Alonso. They're still side by side. That's creating some breathing space in between myself and Alonso, and we managed to pull away. So remember what I said before this race, Alonso needs to outscore me by 2 points to have a real shot at this championship. If he outscores me by 1 point, he's still in the championship fight. But a man who's got nothing to lose now is Mr. George Russell, who we're battling for first place. Very close to the wall there. I thought I was going to hit that one, but we managed to thread the needle and get it through back up into P1, but that will leave us vulnerable for the strip straight. Russell will have the DRS, we won't. Also Alonso's back within DRS of this top 2 fight now. But yeah, as I was saying, Alonso needs to outscore us by 2 or more points to have a realistic chance of winning this championship. And Leclerc needs to do absolute magic work to have a chance in this championship. He's still mathematically there, but after this race, if he's not outscored us by a significant amount, as it goes 3 wide again, but into the chicane, Alonso bounces over the curb. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, Not sure if that would have damaged Alonso's car, but we'll see how it affects him, see if there is any damage. As I was saying though, Leclerc, the man behind us, he needs to do something special to be in this championship. There's a yellow flag, not who choice that's for. That is for Hamilton, so Russell's teammate is now out of the race. I can't hear my gear shifts, I can't lie to you, that's why I've upshifted that much. But Hamilton, official confirmation. I don't think that Alonso's got any damage, as he's managed to sail it round the outside and get that move done on Russell. We've all kind of had our turn at being vulnerable down the strip straight now. It's now Alonso's turn. We're going to get the double slipstream, but crucially Leclerc is going to get the triple. So we've got to watch out for him coming through and probably making it 4 wide. But here we go then, onto the strip straight, the infamous strip straight. As, the DRS has obviously been moved down a lot further. Leclerc though, already going for the move there, and he's got us before the DRS. But here we go, can he even go for the move on Russell? We're going to go for the move on him at least, but we have to back out of that one. There was a lot of movement there. We just didn't want to risk anything. It's very, very close. Alonso keeps the lead. We're now fighting back on Leclerc. Yeah, maybe just keep it a bit back, Kieran. Thank you. We'll accept that we can't get through here, and that Leclerc is going to get through on both myself and Russell. We go for the little gap though, down the inside of Russell, but Russell looks back around the outside, as does Tsunoda on ourselves. We look for a little gap, maybe to make it 3 wide, but that is way, way too close. But now we look back up the inside again. This battle going on and on as Tsunoda now gets involved. He is round our outside. Alonso's getting away with this, and the more positions we lose, the more points that Alonso gains on us. So we've lost that one to Tsunoda, but crucially we are saving ERS to try and get a move done on all 3 drivers ahead of us. Alonso's a bit out of reach now. Well, by a bit I mean a lot, as Sainz looks on the outside now. That's an unrealistic place to make a move. So we've just got to stay behind, play the patient game. But yeah, Alonso has took off with this one, I think is the best way to describe it. As there goes Sainz, doing the same as what Leclerc did last lap. Russell's going to go for the move on Leclerc. Tsunoda's going to go down the inside of his teammate too. It's now Russell and Tsunoda side by side. Sainz is right there too on us. Russell and Tsunoda still going side by side. We stay ahead of Sainz, but towards the last corner now, it's still side by side between the man in second and the man in third. But which way around will it be? Will it be Russell who comes out on top, or Tsunoda? We look around the outside of one of our championship rivals, Leclerc, in the other Ferrari, and we move up, back up into P4. Now we've just got to look ahead. We've got to not focus on what's behind us, as Tsunoda goes to the outside of Russell and makes that move done towards the end of Sector 1. So we save our ERS, as usual, through here, where we won't lose too much time in the corners. So Tsunoda's going to be the one without the DRS now. Staying in the slipstream of Russell now. Try and keep ahead of Leclerc. Try and get these 2 people ahead of these 2 drivers ahead of us. And here we go to the outside of Russell. Leclerc's going to follow us through as well. We go through on Tsunoda as well. Tsunoda sends it back down the inside. Leclerc and Russell side by side. We stay ahead of Tsunoda, crucially, and Leclerc gets ahead of Russell. So Leclerc trying to keep ahead or keep up with us, as Sainz now gets through on George Russell as well. So I don't know, Mercedes having problems today. Of course, Hamilton a really early retirement from this race. The end of lap 1, I'm pretty sure it was, or lap 2, when he retired. But 3 seconds then is the gap to Fernando in the lead. You don't want to hit that wall too much, as that will wear out our tyres a lot. This is definitely a lot more exciting than Portugal, which we have just done. If you missed it and you want to watch that race, which I don't blame you if you don't, to be fair. It was pretty boring. We went from P20 to P7, that's the story of the race basically, and Sainz got his second win in this season. That's pretty much all you need to know about that race. If you want to watch it, then feel free. I also did Mexico late last night, as the two Ferraris now are going to be scrapping down the strip straight. Usual Ferrari stuff, as they're going to go side by side into the chicane. We've gained up to Alonso by another 5 tenths. But Leclerc is now vulnerable to Carlos Sainz and P5.
Starting to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
We're out of the DRS of Tsunoda behind us too. Of course, that's the team that we have declined talks with after going so far into the talking stage. We have declined it. Story of my fucking life. Yeah. Pretty sure that Russell and Verstappen are getting caught up with one another as well back there. That's brought that. I think the Williams have Albon into it and an Alpine there. Probably of Gasly. Of course, Alonso's doing enough to stay well within this championship fight currently. If there's anyone in this stream, could you please tell me if you know if Qatar is a sprint race? I would love to know. As behind the battle commences between Leclerc and Sainz, former teammates of course. Sainz looking to go around the outside, from what I can see on the mini-map. That's bringing Russell back into contention and letting Tsunoda go.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
So yeah, going to the hard tyres for the next pit stop, as we continue to chase down Alonso, who has that fastest lap. Tap the wall on the exit there. Leclerc and Sainz going side by side, going into sector 2. I absolutely love Vegas, I can't lie. Such an underrated track. So many people are saying it's overrated, but I think it's perfectly fine rated. If that's the way that and we've had a calamity, not on track, but with the controller running out. I should have took the warning a few laps ago, or in qualifying, whenever it was. So then that didn't happen. Sorry about that. We're going to use our ERS to try and gain as much as we can to Alonso down the straight. Leclerc gets back through on Carlos Sainz. Leclerc only winning in Austria this season. Sainz winning on 2 occasions. But Leclerc's just had such a consistent season, just like last season. But unfortunately it's not looking likely again that he's going to win the championship, just like the story of last season as well, which is and was a shame. Pretty sure that Russell's on the back of Sainz now, so that's given Leclerc a bit of a relief. But now we're making less progress towards Alonso, but we are still making it. So that's the main thing. What a place to, you know, have a big battle like this for a championship under the lights of Las Vegas. As Sainz gets past Leclerc, Russell not making any inroad on Sainz or Leclerc that time around. Tsunoda's in a race of his own.
Push now, we're boxing this lap.
As there's a confirmation from Mark that we are going to get the first call into the pits, despite us being the second car on track. But we did start on pole position, so maybe that's the reason behind it.
Okay, mate, Fernando's ahead of you. Right, let's go. Let's try and get past them and put them on the back foot. Push, push.
So we are really close to Alonso now, closest that we've been for a few laps. Hopefully we can get within that second, complete the target before we come into the pits. Our tyres definitely feeling a lot grippier than Alonso's look to be supplying it. Yeah, here we go then, down the strip straight. We're in that DRS.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
Well within the DRS, we're already gaining, using all of our ERS. But here we go, DRS enabled now. And gaining towards Fernando. We're going to go to the inside, he moves quite late there.
We hit the target, nice work.
So we dive it down the inside, squeeze him out nicely. And yeah, we're coming into the pits after making that move and completing the objective. Exactly what I wanted to do. Slowing down a little bit at least. As now it's down to the pit stop. And whether the team can make it a good one.
Okay mate, that's it. Go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
So it's a nice stop from the team. 2.4 instead of what we're expecting as a 2.5. A bit slidey as we come out the pits. That's to be expected on these hard tyres at such a cold track. But interestingly as well, Sargent is actually ahead of Sergio Perez. Just in this train in front of us. So Perez must have had a really shocking start to be surrounded by a Haas and behind a Williams. He started in P6, I think it was. P6 or P8, either one of the two. No, Max was P8, so it's either P6 or P7 that he started. Here we go then, down the strip straight. Hulkenberg and Perez gaining on Sargent. No moves look to be made yet as Zhou gets past Piastri behind.
Fernando is in for his stop.
So there we go, Alonso in for the stop. We're going to get the slipstream from Hulkenberg to try and give us that extra speed.
Okay, gap to the car in front, 2.6 seconds.
and we're well ahead of Alonso. What an undercut that is. I don't know any casino references, so if anyone's still here in the stream, please drop them in the bottom. Like what, like references like the ball is now in our court, like anything like that but casino related. Please, I want to hear them, because I am not creative when it comes to references. And obviously with it being Vegas, it'll be very fitting for a casino like saying that ball is in our court. We're on a quickish lap. It's not the fastest lap though. As Alonso still holds on to that. Fastest first sector now. Surprised that there's not been any sort of safety car or a red flag just yet.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
Sainz and Leclerc, even after the pit stop, still continuing their battle for that fourth place. Verstappen gets past Carlos Sainz, although they're still battling. We get the fastest lap just now. We've had every colour sector.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 4.5 seconds.
Every colour sector possible throughout that lap. Leclerc is able to get away now. He's 1.5 ahead of Verstappen, so that's crucial for his race. We've got to save our ERS now while we can. It feels very James Bond though to be an Aston 1 and 2 at Las Vegas, I must say. And if we win our championship here, we'll have sealed both championships before the final race in Qatar, which if we do that, then I'm going to simulate that race, because yeah, I don't want to do a pointless final race, to be fair. So we could actually be on to season 3 by the end of this stream. Just depends how this race goes. If something happens to us though, we will end the stream anyway and do Qatar in the next one, and the new season start. Probably tomorrow or something. If not tomorrow, then Monday. So purple sector 1 again. We are absolutely flying in this race. Purple sector 2 now. Well up on our lap time. I'm pretty sure that our sector time for that sector 2 on our previous lap was like 56.0. So 4/10 up, I'm pretty sure. It's getting really close to that barrier there. As Albon now moves his way up into P5. He's got past Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen as we do set the fastest lap. By 6/10 we've improved by. So I don't think that anyone's going to come close to that unless there's a red flag and we move on to the soft tyres. But yeah, Albon into P5. Once again for Williams, of course. The straight line speed and the nature of this track really helping them to get a good position. I'll check the race director when we get to the strip straight as Verstappen gets back past.
Clear track in front of us, so let's make best use of it and make the next lap a quick one. You got this.
Verstappen gets back past Albon, at least for now. And we've been given the objective of getting a 36.1. Our last lap was a 30.9. I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to do that. Like 100% positive.
Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Right, they need to get this sensor issue fixed because I swear to God we've had that 9 times now this season out of 15, which is not normal whatsoever. So they need to fix their data screens. Albon gets back up into the top 5 momentarily. So this is your positions so far then. So it's myself, Alonso, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Verstappen, Albon, who are currently scrapping for position. Then it's Russell, Gasly. Sainz has dropped down to P9. Even Gasly's got past him. Then it's Ricciardo rounding out the top 10. The home favourite, Logan Sargent, in P11. Perez, Piastri and Norris all down there at the back of the grid for some odd reason. But it seems that Sainz might have damage for a collision with Verstappen there. So Norris had a 6.1 second stop. So that's what's put him down there. Perez had a 5.3. And Piastri a 3.3, but he's all the way down there for some reason. Alonso had a 4.9, so 2 races in a row. He has not had a great pit stop.
Great stuff. You hit that target. Really good job.
So we've gone up on our pace stat for completing that pretty easy peasy objective. We've just got to finish off this easy peasy race so far. Well, this second stint has been easy peasy, that's for sure. The first stint definitely wasn't, finding ourselves down in P5 and P6. Going to push once more, and the lap we're going to go into hot lap mode for this next one. That curve felt like a mountain to climb. Can't lie with that one. 4 tenths off apparently on our lap time. So 30.6.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
This is basically like a little quali session for us now because the gaps are just horrendously massive to what I was expecting. We've not had a safety car or a red flag to mix things up a little bit and to bring things back to being close. Even though everything up. Where is he? There he is. Oh. At the end of the strip straight then. George Russell. A double DNF for Mercedes then. It's not bought out the what's it, the safety car, but Logan Sargent has now been promoted into the top 10. Who's going to get their first point between Sargent and Hulkenberg? I'm sort of hoping that in a way it's Sargent, because that would be nice at his home race, but it would also be nice for Hulkenberg as that would be Haas's first points. But yeah, both Mercedes on having mechanical failures with the cars. That can't bode well for our engine, of course. Aston Martin run a Mercedes engine. But yeah, no safety car still from that. Yellow flag down here for Russell.
Caution. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Okay, so there's a yellow flag there, but actually in the corner where Russell's car is, the green flag. So
Green flag.
off decision. But it is safe enough out of the way, that car, to not call a safety car unless someone's brakes failed. We tried to go for another push, but as our tyres get older, the less grippier they get, and yeah, we're not improving on our lap, so we've just got to sit back and drive the way that we've been driving to the end of this race, and we will become champion, our first championship of this whole career mode. Of course, last season Verstappen and Leclerc were in the mix, and Verstappen ended up taking that in the final race. Well, in this race actually, I'm pretty sure it was. How magical that would be here at Vegas to do that, to take the championship home in And then Aston Martin with a 1-2 as well.
Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Definitely made the right decision to come to Aston Martin for this season. Of course, coming over from RB, who've also done pretty good this season. Yeah, it was a slow decision to make. We didn't have any of the top teams interested, but at the rate that Aston Martin have been developing this season, I mean, it's proved it. The plan has worked, that is for sure. As we already sealed the constructors' title in the last race at Portugal. I don't want to speak too soon just yet. We've still got about a lap and a half to go until we're on that final lap. Our question is, what team will we sign for next season though? Of course it was going to be Ferrari, but what they were offering us in the end in terms of rating against Charles Leclerc, it just wasn't, it didn't meet our needs. So, yeah, what will we do for next season? Well, we'll find out. But both myself and Alonso have really been in a league of our own this whole race weekend. Alonso, you know, clearing the field by 6 or 7 tenths in qualifying. Us topping off the job in Q3 by clearing him by another 3 tenths. And then in this race, only 6 seconds separate us, but from the rest of the field, a big gap. So we've really gone ahead in terms of development, as now we're heading to the final corner of this track to start our final lap.
Okay,
let's give it our all.
Final lap of the race.
For this final lap as a non-champion.
Gap to your teammate behind, 6.6 seconds.
We've really been pushing this lap, as you can tell from our ERS. And from that gap to Alonso, it's gone from 6 seconds to 7.2, so we're not going to get a new fastest lap. but it was worth the push as we come through the final chicane for the final time, and on this straight away towards the final corner, and just around that corner is the finish line. But not only that, the race win and the championship.
Yes, 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 guys, yes! Come on, boys! Yes, yes! We've done it! That is the world champion right there. Well done!
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. Not just victory today then, but the championship as well. What a spectacular season they've had. Congratulations to the whole team.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
It's time to present the top drivers with their trophies for today's Grand Prix. And there are a lot of people in the paddock very happy with this result. It's Aston Martin on the top step. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out. Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So then, there's your top 10, and we asked the question about who will score their first point first, and turns out it's both Sargent and Hulkenberg. That only leaves Kevin Magnussen, who actually started higher than both of these drivers, the only one without a point now this season. Haas have finally got their first point. Yuki Tsunoda finished out the top 3. Then it was Leclerc in 4th, Verstappen 5th, Gasly in well-deserved 6th, Ricciardo in 7th, Albon and Sargent P8 and P9 both scoring their points for Williams. Hulkenberg in 10th, as I mentioned. Ocon then just outside the points in P11. Piastri and Norris, the McLaren duo, 12th and 13th. Then it's Magnussen, Perez down in 15th ahead of Stroll, Zhou, Sainz with the damage, who had to stop twice actually, and then the two DNFs of Russell and Hamilton, the two Mercs, both out of the Vegas Grand Prix. I didn't look at the championships because not a lot would have changed. You know, we've won the championship now. We're beating Esteban Ocon in the ratings rivalry, which is the only one that we've got going currently. But yeah, we're gonna skip Qatar and move on to next season. So there it is, and our first championship. And our first constructors as well. What a season it's been.
You have a new rival. This is the perfect opportunity to show the world why you belong in this sport. And to show me why you belong amongst my very exclusive clientele. That's a joke. I love working with you.
And there's a confirmation then. Also, I didn't say that. I said that a lot of stuff wouldn't have changed around. Sonoda's moved his way into the top 10 now. Moves Perez out of the top 10. Ricciardo and Gasly gain on Sergio as well. So does Albon a little bit. Sargent and Hulkenberg there with their first points. Move ahead of Zhou, as they've had better positions throughout the season. Williams closing off on Alpine though. Kasha RB closing off on McLaren, as they've gone 2 weekends now without scoring. I'm pretty sure it's 2 McLarens. Let's have a look at that. Oh no, McLaren got 3rd and 9th in last weekend, but yeah, let's hurry up and move on to next season. And it was a sprint. It was a sprint. Oh well.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying. And of course, the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. It's all about flow and pace today, qualifying in Qatar. A high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So welcome.
Okay, we seem to be having a few software issues at the moment. Sit tight for a few minutes while we reboot some things, okay?
Why can't I? We'll just have to see out the session, I guess.
So let's celebrate the end of the season, but I know a lot of you will be very sad out there thinking, what are you going to do without Formula One? Don't worry, folks, it'll be back before you know it. We'll see you next year.
So there's your championship order in the end. No points for Magnussen that whole season. Red Bull come over in second by 5 points over Ferrari, who are 5 points over Mercedes. So yeah, VCARB didn't end up getting McLaren in the end. Williams didn't end up getting Alpine. So yeah, that's how it settles down. What a season.
sounds as if you have a new rival. This is the perfect opportunity to show the world why you belong in this sport. And to show me why you belong amongst my very exclusive...
So let's see what teams want us. So I was thinking this, to be fair. I was really thinking, should we go to Mercedes? Would make sense, since that's the, and we'd be teammates with Hamilton as well, so, and we'd have more recognition than if we did sign for Ferrari, or any other team except for RB, of course. I reckon let's do it. Let's do it. It's all done. So let's get all the upgrades secured, what we can, which is only one apparently. So Aston are losing 5 parts of the aero. So we're gonna add Australia here and Saudi Arabia. We're gonna get rid of Spain and Portugal. So yeah, there we go. That's the season that we've got ahead of us, and we're with, of course, we're set. Hold on, Russell's our teammate. I thought it would have been Hamilton. Odd. Right. Each race week. Balancing up the field. R&D scenario, sorry. I don't know. No, I don't know. Would make it interesting, wouldn't it? But you know what? Let's try it. Yeah, let's do it. So here we are then, a Mercedes driver officially. Going into a new season as a champion. So let's, wow. Hamilton to Aston, ourselves to Mercedes. Porsche has been signed to to Alpine, Gasly to Williams, and Sargent is no longer driving, and Behrman has been signed to Haas, replacing Magnussen, so that's a realistic move there. Let's look at the R&D. So Aston Martin still at the top, then it's VCARB, then Red Bull, then McLaren, then ourselves, Ferrari, Haas, Williams, Alpine and Sauber. Let's look at everyone's movements then. So that's the most experienced teammate lineup that I've ever seen there. Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. They'll work together great, I'm sure. As yeah, Behrman into Haas, Magnussen no longer there, Sargent no longer here, and of course no Bottas as well. Porsche is into the Alpine. So pretty realistic moves, I must say. Still an all French lineup at Alpine, which I bet that they'll be happy with. So yeah, we're going to leave it there. Thank you everyone who joined, and I'll see you for the next one.